With my guy Eric Sheet-Tabor. We're going to be talking through the Wells Fargo Championship. 1 week away from the next from the next major. And looking forward to getting into. I haven't really played much golf the last couple of weeks. Threw a few lineups in just for fun, but nothing that serious. So I'm excited to get back into it. Sheets, any overall thoughts or anything before we jump into to looking?
Yes, we're gonna take care of this bit of business right at 1 o'clock and 30 seconds, so we don't make this mistake again. There is no cut this week.
Yes,
there's no cut. We're gonna not bet on who misses the cut this time in the no cut event, like we did the last time there was a no cut. So, because it's a no cut event, typically what you're going to have is a real ability to play a lot of stars and scrubs lineups, because you don't have to worry about your scrubs missing out on all four rounds. And when you look at my sheets, you look at any point per dollar thing, you're going to see as a result, like all of the cheapos, like just showing up as the whatever. So don't do something stupid like just rate the top 6 point per dollar plays and put all 6 of them and leave like 10,000 on the table. You know, that's not what you're supposed to do. But again, I kind of like the no cut events. The question I always struggle with is, okay, if everybody knows that you're supposed to play the stars and scrubs, does that mean you're supposed to play balance builds too? And again, that's obviously an interesting way to look at it, but we'll focus in on kind of who the best plays are, and then I'll leave it to you to figure out how to construct the actual portfolio, I guess.
So this event has been a cut event in the past. That's the only thing I was confused by a little bit when I was looking at this. Anyway, let's pull up your screen and we'll go tier by tier and talk about what we like. And I agree. I think that it's an interesting like just how to build lineups, because it is you are gonna see forced in a lot of stars and scrubs stuff.
I will say this, by the way, before we get into it, there is I do have one guy, which we'll get to, who I'm probably going to be significantly overweight on. Also the ownership numbers I have up are pretty thin right now. I'm going to, without getting too into it, I've just had a lot of stuff going on the last day or two, so I haven't really had a time to really focus. So my confidence level, my ownership projections right now is about a 4 out of 10. But by the end of tonight, I will have it all tightened up. Now, just a little bit of scheduling. I'm going to the Yankee game tonight.
Oh, awesome.
So it might not be until late that I do it, but I'm going to do it. And the fact is also is that the start time is not till 11 in the morning tomorrow, so Eastern. So I might even wait till the morning to do it. But there will be good ownership projections, or as I see them, good ownership projections with plenty of time to go.
Nice.
So what do you think of the top 3 guys?
So Wyndham is by far my favorite. It's not even close, and I like that he's going to be lower owned. I really think that it's, I think they're all going to have ownership, but Wyndham is definitely the one who I like the best. He's been the best golfer for one thing, outside of 2 events. I know that Xander and Rory match up really well here. I won't exclude all these guys this time, but Wyndham is the one that I've got as the priority for myself anyway. For those of you guys who don't know, he did win. I mean, I don't know if it was even the same thing. He won. Yeah, Wyndham won it last year, and Xander finished second. Just FYI. But I love Wyndham here.
So for me, I mean, the way I'm just looking at the board here, and I'm not copping out. This is just kind of the way it just looks on this particular slate. Is I have really all these 3 kind of equal. I as far as a combination of kind of ownership, but point per dollar and such and such, I think they all look decent because they're, listen, it's stars and scrubs built sort of by default. And I do have Schauffele as just as good as far as his projection as Rory, and he's a little bit cheaper. But I think he's going to be the most popular of them all, just because he always is as well. And I do have Wyndham as probably the best point per dollar of all 3 of those. But I don't necessarily think he's going to be particularly on either. I have him above 20% also. So I will reiterate that I'm going to have better ownership projections as we get closer. Yeah. I really don't have much of an opinion between all 3 of them. with the exception of the idea that you can play all three of them pretty easily. I mean, not all three of them, you know what I mean, but you can get all three of them with very little difficulty. Like I did in my initial builds, for example, like 3 of my top 5 owned golfers are those 3 guys. So, and that's just the way it is. I guess because I have like a whole bunch of, I have a whole bunch of guys that I know I can play cheap. And I guess it's also because maybe I'm not as high on some of this mid-tier stuff. But that's where I'm right now is literally, and this is not the way I usually play. It's the way I'm working out. Is 3 of the top 5 owned guys in my 150 build right now are literally these 3 guys.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I just want to point out a difference that like you have Xander who literally never wins. You have Rory who never wins unless I guess he won the team event. And you have Wyndham, who basically is the only guy other than Scheffler who ever seems to win. Like that's just my taking. I don't think there's any reason he should be cheaper. I think that at this moment he's been a better golfer than the other 2. So and Xander's having a great year, but like great year and just coming near the top. I just want to throw that out there that it always I've been saying it for years now. It's all and I like Rory and everything. I root for Rory, but it's kind of egregious the pricing. If you look at missed prices over the last 3 years of golf, I would say that Rory has basically been the most mispriced golfer every week, and Xander has been appropriately priced. But when they're this much different and supposed to win the tournament, I just can't get to it as much. All right, 9K range. What do you got here, Sheets?
Well, I kind of gave it away, right? So if 3 of my top 5 guys are going to be from that top 11K range, I mean, almost by definition, the 9K range is going to be pretty empty for me, and it kind of pans out like that. Like right now, the only guy that I have in this range at all that even in my 150, myself over 12% of, I guess, is Sahith Theegala. So I'm getting right now 25% of him. So he is, I guess, by far my favorite of this bunch. So everybody else here is just by the way I'm building is just falling below the wayside. Now, again, I know the way my systems work, and I usually get to the same type of things that other people get to. So if in fact that's what a lot of people are doing, if you like any of these, like if you like Fleetwood or Homa, and we usually like those 2 guys specifically, but if you like those 2 guys or Morikawa or whatever, and you could make a build with like 2 of those or something like that, you're gonna be different than what a lot of people are gonna do, which is probably what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I actually would go further. I think you could play 3 of them together.
There you go. Okay.
So if you wanted to get a little different, I like that idea. Yeah, I have Fleetwood as the best from this range. It's a little more money than we spend for him usually. One thing I do want to mention is I will bet anything that there's at least multiple withdrawals in like the 8K plus range.
Why do you think that?
It's the week before a major, and it's a no-cut event where if you don't have a chance to really contend, the problem is you're actually giving away money by doing that. So I don't, I'm just sort of thinking it out in my head. I just had a feeling that was going to happen.
That's interesting.
But at the same time, like you are giving away free money if you don't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even getting 50th, you're getting more than if you withdraw. And I don't know the rules for this specific tournament, but that's usually the case. Anyway, Fleetwood is my favorite. No shocker there. I understand that he's going to have ownership. No big deal. By the way, I would encourage everybody until you have Sheets' ownerships later and whatever, look at Goldies. I think there's especially in terms of the ownership, I think it's a lot more closer to accurate than the SaberSim projections are right now. Like SaberSim has Fleetwood is more like the highest owned player on the slate at 30+%. Whereas like I'm looking at other sites and it's like people have them at 15%, 16%. I think Goldie's projections for the
I'll tell you what, one of the things that I've been threatening to do, and again, because I'm all messed up with like so many other things right now, is I want to start really like tracking and comparing like where the best ownership projections are between like me and Goldie. You know what I mean? Like to see which ones of that set are closer. Because the thing is, what's cool about ownership is you can compare those. In other words, like if you have like a set of ownership projections and then you know what the results are, you can say who's closer. It's not the same with point projections, because when you're putting a median point projection, how many they actually score is really not even relevant. You know what I mean? But the ownership, that really is relevant. So one of these days, and I have the tool to do it too. I just have to figure out how to upload the stuff in there. But I'm going to start doing that and start tracking this. Listen, because everybody wants to get the best numbers, and maybe I'll start ranking like who's better between, like, say, as I'm sure SaberSim won't mind, but between SaberSim, like mine and Goldie's, and then you guys can derive whatever information you want from that.
Absolutely, I think that would be cool. But anyway, so I'm sort of stuck just in the 9K range other than Fleetwood. I really feel like I have everybody similarly. I might let like ownership end up dictating it for me. I think that there's Morikawa. Even I was listening to Rick talk about him. And, he really hasn't been as good as it seems. I don't know if I buy that. Like, he just, you're top 5 in events and he's, I think, I don't know. I have a feeling more that he's back. So I guess I'd lean Morikawa. I thought Hovland would be lower owned. If he is, I would have gone Hovland, but I would go Fleetwood, Morikawa, Homa, and I'm interested in your Thigala a little bit as well. So I have a little interest in everybody there, but Fleetwood is the one I'll have the most exposure to. And by the way, everybody, it's funny because I got so teased for a while about all the Fleetwood that he's always my highest owned player. Well, the guy just always is right around there, except for like 1 out of 10 tournaments. You're not going to get the best thing out of him, but like almost always he's right in the mix. All right, there's somebody in this next range. You're going to have to explain to me why their ownership isn't high. Oh, I guess it is higher. I think it's just SaberSim's ownership had him lower. Never mind. You don't have to explain anything to me. Just who do you like in the 8K range?
Okay. In the 8K range, the guy that I'm getting the most of is somebody. It doesn't really feel like the right spot, but I have Siwoo Kim at like 24%. I mean, we've been playing Siwoo Kim in these other courses where you don't need length and stuff like that, but apparently length is pretty important on this course. So I don't know why exactly I'm getting so much of him, but I am. The other guy I'm getting, again, who I not as convinced of why, but I'm getting a full 20% of Ben Yon. But the guy that I think I should be getting more of, that I am currently getting 18%, that fits this is Cameron Young. So that would be, now again, I see this is a weird ownership. Like SaberSim has him at 11. I have him at like 19. I mean,
I see that. Goldie's got him at 20.
Yeah, that's at 11%. I'd love SaberSim to give me him at 11%. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I mean, he's a better course fit than the guys I mentioned. I like him quite a bit. And again, like Henley looks fine, but again, I just, maybe I'm overthinking it. But the guys like the Henley, the Siwoo Kim, and the Ben Yons, like those types of guys are not really the guys to play on this course, but yet they're showing up in the model. So I don't know what to make of that. But I guess I'd have to say Cameron Young would be my favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we don't punish Cameron Young for maybe being a little bit out of sorts, but we punish these other guys around him. And that's the only thing because I think he will be the most popular in this range. I'll take the second most popular or the guy who I think should be the most popular, and it's Hideki. I don't see why Hideki isn't 10 plus. He's been probably of everybody in this tournament, probably the second or third best golfer this year. No, let me rephrase that. He's been second behind Wyndham. It's and maybe you could argue that he's ahead of Wyndham in terms of consistent results. So I like Hideki. I like Fitz, and my third one if the ownership is accurate, I know he's been bad at this specific course before, but it should fit him to like a T. Would be like Russell Henley. Those are the 3 that I had circled. I don't know what to do with Justin Thomas because I feel like everybody's talking about Justin Thomas, but that happens every week. And yeah, sometime he's going to make us pay, but I'm sort of would rather wait for that sometime. I'll get punished when that happens and probably be underweight on him the rest of the time until then.
Well, I will also say this. I mean, not that I would predict this to happen, but if you want a profile of someone who might withdraw, you need someone who might withdraw anyway and probably doesn't need the money. And Hideki's probably a good example of that.
No, that's fair. That's literally the fear I had. But then he's been doing it though. Even though
he has been.
So
he's been playing whole rounds with a Q tag. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. over and over again, and actually looks like and looking banged up and still playing great and top 10ing, you know.
Yep.
All right, 75 to 79.
Okay, 75 to 79 is not where I'm getting the most from this range. Again, this is all very consistent because of all my 11K stuff. But the top guy I have right now at 7,500 to 7,900 would be Steven Yeager, and it's not even that much, like 18% or so. And then under that would be my hero Baccia. I'm getting 17% of him, and then you just kind of, you just kind of have to play Zalatoris at that price.
Yeah.
So Zalatoris, Baccia, and Yeager would be the three guys from that for me.
Yeah, I have Zalatoris as number one by like a landslide. And as I always say, when Sam Burns has been more expensive than Cameron Young for the last million years, and new baby narrative, who knows if it's good or bad, kind of like Sam Burns a little bit at low ownership here. So those are the two that I had. I also liked your Yeager and Baccia, but I don't want to name everybody who's playing. Those are just the guys I had the most of. So I'll stick with the Burns and Zalatoris as my favorites from this range. Why is Zalatoris in this range? Just seems weird.
No respect.
No respect. All right, 7 to 74.
Yeah, but to your point, there's not a lot of respect for a lot of guys in this range.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. You got to price some people down and only 69.
Sam Burns 7,700, like you said.
Yeah, he's my other one.
Okay, so my top overall play right now in my 150 max, which I'll probably end up in the 555 also. It's a guy that I have currently projected at about 8.8% ownership, approximately. Sabersim has him a little bit lower, and it's a guy I've played before. So it would be my once and future hero, Chris Kirk, at 7,100. And then I have two other guys that I have over 20% of. One would be a guy who did pretty nicely from this past week, would be Adam Schenk. And another one who's made me money in the past, that would be JT Poston. So those three guys, Kirk, Poston, and Schenk, I'm getting quite a bit of in the 71 to 74 range.
Well, it's interesting because we've got the somebody's got to win type of thing going on here.
We're going back to Tom Kim?
I'm going back to Tom Kim. I don't care. By the way, he might have scared some people last week. It's not like he was like, he ended up like he was like, what did he finish 40th or something? It's not like, he's going to have ups and downs. You bet on the young kids, you get ahead. That's my theory. Adam Schenk is the only person in this thing I thought looked overpriced. I know he's been playing well, but it's just funny to me. I was just like, Adam Schenk, I would have thought with the guys, the names around him would be like way lower. Tom Hoagie, who people may not realize, even including Scotty Scheffler, has the most rounds under par this season because I think he's just played more events. But so I have Hoagie, I have Tom Kim. Of the ones you mentioned, I like Chris Kirk the most of those ones. But the other name that I was going to throw out there is Harris English is the other name that I had.
Yeah, or you could do the Bobby Firestone system play, just play Taylor Pendrith.
The just automatic. It's going to happen back to back.
Yeah, just play the winner from the week before.
That's so
because no one else is going to play him.
Oh my God! You know what? By the way, just on that, can I just mention there's a few, and you know who you are. You're probably not watching this, but the people who made flat out bets to win Taylor Pendrith last week. I guess there was a few of them in the industry. He hasn't won an event on tour before. And they literally, it was like, oh yeah, we knew he was going to win the whole time and everything. I doubled down right before the 18th hole on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see the stubs for that one, because for the other, for someone to make the first bogey of the day on the hole, and him to birdie it, like it was just ridiculous. I just don't want to hear the victory laps on those kind of.
Listen, let me tell you the key to one key to success in life is to surround yourself with really, really smart people and to know like where to access information and who to ignore, who whatever. And I've spent like great amount of time like curating my feed to make sure that I'm only trying to follow smart people, whatever. Let me tell you, my feed, the people I follow on Twitter, they have the most incredible record of winning these straight bets. It's like amazing. Like these guys the people I follow have like a 90% success rate apparently. Like whoever seems to win these golf tournaments, whether it's 30-1, 90-1, 70-1, like 90% of the people I follow somehow have them. So it's really, really important to follow who I'm following, because whoever I'm following is always winning. So it's very, everybody take that to heart.
For sure. All right, what do you like in the 6K range?
All right, so in the 6K range, I'm gonna shout out, and I'm gonna force a guy in from the Rick video, just because like when you're down to 6Ks, like you can sometimes just give an eye test to a salary or whatever. But I'm gonna get to those. The guys I'm actually getting, like I'm getting Austin Eckroat, who is like I get 17% of him, Pavon 16% of him. But just to confirm this, I was listening to Rick's stuff when I didn't have it on the screen. I was just listening, and he told me a price, and I literally couldn't believe it. Nick Taylor is 6,200. Dude, I mean, for real. I mean, I will take my chances that Nick Taylor at 6,200 is a good play. So I'm gonna put him in there somewhere, and just see what happens. He's at the same price to make again, to shout out Rick. He's the same price as Kevin Tway, right? He's the same price as Matt Kuchar. And all I know is that Nick Taylor has competed for wins and won stuff and whatever. So as far as my numbers, my projections and all that, the guy I'll go back to, again, Pavon and Eckroat. But the Nick Taylor one seems kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, it's a cheap price for sure. I actually like another guy at the same price in Seamus.
Yeah, but there are other guys. It's so funny. Like I was going to make this big deal about it, and now as I'm looking through all these guys, I could sort of make the same argument for like 7 other guys. Why don't you talk about some of them?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, just because the way the tournament, it's just like because there's only 69 players. Yeah, well, that's why everybody looks mispriced, I guess. But yeah, Seamus Power, it's not that he's the mispriced. He played really well. No one, he's what I like about him is he's a high scoring player, and I love that in the 6Ks. I don't mind all the bogeys, especially when you have a no cut event. Just give me the guy who's going out there trying to make it on every par 5. You know what I mean? Who's really going to actually go.
You want to give me 4 rounds guaranteed of Cam Davis at 6,400?
Cam Davis is my number 1 guy from this range.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm totally with that. And especially you talk about being able to hit it far, hit it long, and not have to worry about a cut. Sounds like a Cam Davis dream. I definitely understand the Pavon thing, but I think look. Here's more of my thing sheets. I think we go back to the other guy from last week. I think we go back to Jake Knapp. He will be low owned, and he's played. I mean, he's played much better, I feel like, than people have given him credit for. So maybe those are 2 off the board. And, my favorite is Davis. My second favorite is, and it's hard to call him my second favorite because he's the one I actually expect to finish the highest, Taylor Moore. People probably don't realize how good Taylor Moore is. And I just think we got to keep playing him. And it's been very, very, very good for my season. Last guy for me is Kitayama. I really like Kitayama. You talk about, again, longer a little bit. He's plays long par 4 as well. It's a really, really good fit in my opinion. So those are the ones I have the most of. But Davis and Moore are definitely 2 of my priorities.
So this is a great 1% owned lineup you could play. So this one has all three 9Ks: Homa, Hovland, Fleetwood. You get Hideki in there, and then Cam Davis and Jake Knapp. You know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah.
For example, you know what I mean? I don't care. I'm not playing this with big buy-in anyway, so I can just kind of screw around.
There's the winner.
But that's an interesting idea, to remember that this is a no-cut event, and it's not just that you're going to miss. You could get these guys to not worry about missing the cut. You could get guys that that really you were worried about missing the cut.
Right. Right.
So I mean, guys like you said, that just hit the crap out of like Cam Davis and other guys we mentioned.
Yeah, if there was like a Cam Champ in this tournament, I would have absolutely played Cam Champ because he's going to probably miss the cut, but the guy's literally going to he'll hit it on the green on a 350-yard par 4. You know what I mean? He'll drive it on the green. All right.
So did Knapp get second last week?
I think he got third. No, he got third or fourth.
Who got second to Pendrith?
Second was Ben Coles, who literally choked it away. It was really sad to watch, actually. To be the only guy to bogey the par 5.
It's tough when you haven't won.
He had a 1-stroke lead, and everybody had made a par or better on that hole, And he goes out there and it takes him like literally like 4 shots just to get to the green.
Oh, really? He was bad off the tee right from the beginning?
Yeah, and it was hard to watch. And then Pendrith ended up with like a tap in for the win, where it was like there was no way in a million years that could ever happen. So Pendrith was a stroke back. It was just a weird hole. All right, so let's play the game. Sheets, who is going to win this tournament? Because we're going to have different guys, obviously.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Yeah, because you told me that Rory never wins, so it can't be him, right?
Oh, he just won. He won the doubles event.
Yeah, exactly. He had his partner carry it, whoever it was.
Actually, he carried him. I got you. Yeah, it was.
This is just like a stupid idea, but again, just because like I want to play someone who's not going to be thinking ahead to the players, who doesn't give an F or whatever, I'm going to go and I'm going to bet him to win, by the way, in the sport, just for the hell of it. I'm going to go with Sahith Theegala to win.
Ooh, yeah, I like that call.
I don't give an F, just freaking I'm playing golf, and not thinking ahead, not thinking behind, just thinking about the present and just hitting the ball. So that's who I'm going for in this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Wyndham. I like your call a lot, but I'm definitely going with Wyndham here. I actually think I would consider, although the odds are probably not quite good enough on Wyndham, but I really like the idea that he's going to win this tournament.
Okay, below 10K, who we haven't used yet, or each of us haven't used yet, to go top 5.
It feels like this should be a lot easier because I love this guy in general, but all right. So I'm gonna say Fleetwood, but I usually save him for my top 10 because he's cheaper. But I'm a top 10 Tommy, but I'm gonna say top 5 Tommy this week.
Okay, and I'll continue to drop a little bit off the grid, and I'll go to Cam Young.
All right. Cam Young. Okay, so now I need 9K, under 9K
for top 10. It's a trivially easy one. I don't know.
There's the obvious one, and I was thinking if I wanted to do something different because I hate that all of the guys I'm picking are pretty much the chalk here. But I will go ahead and take the one who I think is the best of it. Again, the WD is my biggest concern.
You know I'm taking him, so you better. I mean, like.
Oh, you're going to take him?
Oh, not only if you didn't. I mean.
Okay, well, I'm not going to take him then, so you can take him because that way I'm going to play him. I'll take Fitzpatrick.
Okay, and I will go with Hideki Matsuyama.
How
about under 8K for top 20? Actually, let's do one. Yeah, let's go 8K for top 20. I guess we'll go under 7K for like. You know what we'll do? We'll do 8K top 20. Then there's the best performing under 7K. How about that?
I love that. Yeah.
All right. So under 8K for top 20. Who's it going to be?
Again, why do I keep ending up so chalky on my things? I have all these cool takes this week, and none of them I'm actually playing in this little game. Okay, so the one who I think should be the answer is Corey Connors, but I am going to take who did I pick on my thing?
Willie Z. Not Willie Z.
Oh, Willie Z. I'll take Willie Z. Yeah, sorry.
And I'm going to take Christian Kirk.
Well, you really like the Kirk this week. My problem with Kirk, I always run into with the same thing with Hadwin and all these guys. They also are so similar. They all played together in Canada, like Mackenzie Hughes, that every time I play one of them, I feel like I have to play all of them. You know what I mean? Like they're all the same guy. It's like the Sam Burns thing.
Who's the best performing guy under 7K?
So I'm going to say Taylor Moore, but I love the Cam Davis play still.
Yeah, I am going to go with. To bring up a guy I haven't talked about. Nah, you know what? Let's not. We'll go with, and this guy will probably be pretty well represented. But I will go with Austin Eckler.
All right. Yes.
I was going to go with St. John's. I was going to go with Keegan Bradley, but I decided I'm going to go with Eckroyd instead. How about this? How about
worst finishing over 9K?
Worst finishing over 9K, exactly.
A guy I love and I'm probably going to play some of, but I'm going to definitely pick him, and that is going to be Victor Hovland because I don't know if he's broken yet.
Like he very well might be.
He looks broken, and then he birdies like 5 holes in a row, and then he doubles the next 2. It's really weird.
Well, I don't think that Cantlay takes enough chances to finish the worst of all of them.
Probably not.
So I guess I have to go Rory, I suppose.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah,
you never know. That guy can make a 10 anytime. He'll try whatever, especially in tournaments like this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it should be a fun one, guys. Looking forward to it. I'm really excited about next week. I hope everybody has a great week. Good luck to everybody. And